Welcome back for another episode of the RADelaide Summit podcast. In this week's episode, we cover bike fit and recovery chats with Mr. Nick from the recovery room, a rundown on the last few weeks, obviously, for the Rad Sum crew, more SA talent heading to China, and of course, much, much more. Come along for the ride.
If you're new to the podcast and haven't listened to us before, each week we scour the Strava leaderboards, watching you do your efforts up Norton Summit and discuss them here on the podcast, whether you like it or not. There's a chance we might shame you, but we promise not to name you personally, and the odds are high that we'll probably shame ourselves because we're not as fast as you. Well, this week anyway. Look, at the end of the day, our goal is to encourage and celebrate everyone going up Adelaide's best hill climb, Norton Summit, and reaching their own goals. So with that, let's introduce ourselves. We are your Summiteers, Alex.
Hello.
Wang.
G'day.
Mr. Nick.
Hello there.
And I'm Kashi. Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners, to another RADelaide Summit podcast.
As always, we need to know what has been happening on and around the summit this week. Alex.
I've got a funny story.
Oh, here we go.
Because it's been 3 weeks since we did a pod,
Yes.
and I added up all of my Strava Ks, and it doesn't equal 1 week of the Wang for 3 weeks.
That's pretty good.
So the only numbers going up is the ones on the scales currently. But nothing out of the ordinary, just echelon, gym, plunge, blah, 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 blah.
Painting.
A lot of painting. Get to that. Let me get to that. I did go up the freeway yesterday on my way out to Bradbury, and just as the bike path goes away from the road right at the top, there was a dead deer.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear, that's what I said too. However, it looked like it had been shot. My question is, like, who's up there waiting for Bambi to cross the road with a freaking gun?
Was it a baby one or adult?
No, it
Looks
wasn't
like fairly
responding,
big.
mate. It was a hole in its neck.
Unresponsive one.
Unresponsive. But yeah, that's just really odd. I hope there isn't people doing that up there. I hope it was something else.
Yeah, hope it wasn't malicious.
They could be
That's the word I was looking for.
They might be classed as pests.
Pest.
No, they're not. No.
Weird as fuck.
Yeah, but it could be a
Majestic.
pest to someone.
Well, it's not doing anything anymore, I'll tell you that now. I have been doing heaps on what was Wang's room. It's now just spare room.
Hey.
Everyone's probably thinking, like, why the fuck is it taking so long? So this room was a bathroom. It was a toilet. Knocked down walls, put beams in the roof, floor levels all over the place. Houses the brain of my house because everything's automated. So there's a billion network cables in there. I was in the roof till like 10 o'clock last night.
In your defence as
Yeah.
well, you actually work.
I do work.
You try and train as much as you can and
3 hours
enjoy
a week.
life as well.
I
So,
do a lot of enjoying life.
yeah.
That's stopping soon.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're almost there. Next week, flooring, skirting,
What type of flooring are you putting in my room?
hybrid floorboards because they're water resistant. I know you've got a bit of incontinence.
Splash proof?
Yes.
Yes.
And then, work. End of financial year. It's like mayhem. Everyone wants everything done tomorrow.
Of course I do.
Yeah. Anyway, Kashi, what's been
What's about
happening?
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
What have I been doing? Actually, animal related. We had a dead ringtail possum out the front of our house.
Oh,
And young G wanted to give it a funeral. So I picked
Who did you ring?
Didn't ring anyone. It sort of tailed off a little bit, that's all.
Jesus.
So, dug a hole in the front yard, gave it a little burial, and, yeah.
Little cross there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple little flowers, that's it. And then we sung out
Sad.
Shaka and Destiny, oh, and then that's done. Trained a little bit, worked a shitload, but it's good. It's got a
Saw you
good
yesterday.
balance. Yeah,
Yeah, I was surprised
yeah. Oh, front group, baby.
that I saw him.
Chopping all the way. Let's go.
I'm genuinely worried now that he's gone and jumped all the way in June.
You know what was funny is I was a bit worried. I really was that I would get dropped. I was like, please, there, because there was a fair few people there. And then when our mate Petit Perunian went to do his
Trademark.
motivational speech, I really think he needs some sort of mic or a water bottle that he needs to talk into.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's like, yeah, all right, there's going to be one group. And I'm like, fuck this.
Probably too big for one group.
But by the end, I was letting out a couple of like cues and stuff like that on the last lap still. And I looked down, I was in like my 54, maybe 12, 13, something like that. So we're chopping at like 60 Ks plus. It was good.
Very good.
It was spicy. But yeah, all in all, it's been a really good couple of weeks. Good balance with work and life. So it's, life's
Rachel's
good.
gone home.
Yes.
We did
That's
have
good.
the pleasure of meeting her last week.
You did. The myth. the legend, that is.
Very lovely young lady.
Yes, so life's good. Yes, went climbing yesterday. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Life is very good. What about you, Wayne? What's just a bit of a copy pasta?
Yeah, I've missed you guys. It's been a while.
Liar.
I
Fucking liar.
have. I've missed all of you.
We don't even get invited
He's
out.
been sweating.
I don't go out.
I've missed you guys.
Yeah.
So it's bike rides.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm your Uber. So
are.
I was last weekend. Yours and Leo's Uber.
Yeah,
So so it's been a few weeks. So what did I do this week? 22 hours, 820K. So Monday, we had a public holiday on Monday. So I think I just did a beach loop with the normal Sunday church bunch. A couple of those guys were hungover, so we were going to do a Nan loop, but they bailed on that. So we just did a beach loop. And then the weather come in shitty all week. So I was on Zwift all week with no outside rides at all. So it was starting to head crack me doing Zwift 3 times a day. Went down. I did set my alarm for chop yesterday, but I turned it off and then rode down and met them and just did a Norton loop and back to the bakery and home. And then this morning had Nate's footy. I did a bit of Zwift before that. And then,
You win?
yeah. Huh?
Do you win?
Did you win?
Yes, they did. Yep. So against Hope Valley, arch rivals. And then just did an hour and a half out on the road this afternoon. Coming up in the financial year as well. So also busy in my work.
On that.
Yes.
Which part? The work?
The work. Please tell the listeners what your work is doing.
Yeah. So in the industry that I work in, which is the health industry. Health insurance, not the adult industry.
The sweating industry.
This is the busiest. The next 2 weeks are the busiest time of the year with people with health insurance and whatnot. Yeah. So our work is giving us a $30 voucher every day we turn up to work for the rest of the financial year. So just basically to come to work.
Why?
I'm going to give you more than the money I'm giving you to come to work.
Is there high absenteeism in your work?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just in any sort of call centre environment or there's always high absentee and unplanned absences. Just to...
Unplanned absences.
Well, that's what UPA, that's what they call it. That's the actual terminology.
In the industry.
Yeah.
In the industry.
Sweating with
they just try to encourage everyone to come into work and do their job.
That's so fucked on so many levels.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And what's better is it's tax-free because it's a voucher. It's a Prezi voucher. You know those Prezi vouchers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
tax-free.
not giving my staff a voucher to come to work to do their job.
You have to complete
That you get paid for.
You have to
paid
complete your shift.
Complete your shift.
Yeah.
Oh, going on.
So you can't just half the day
Have to work 7.6 hours with 2 10-minute breaks and 1 30-minute unpaid break.
It's like getting the sprint points in the crit and then not finishing the race.
Yeah, that's right.
okay.
Yeah, you've got to finish the Grand Tour. You can't just pull out.
Go to work.
Hey, I do. I'm not your apprentice.
Oh my! Don't get me started. Do not.
Your apprentice with food poisoning.
Nope. Don't go there.
Welcome back, guys. It's the RADelaide podcast. We just had a brief intermission into This Is Your Life.
That's my week. What about yourself, Nick? Mr. Nick, sorry.
Yeah,
Mr. Nick.
I guess over the last 3 weeks, I've actually started riding the bike again. I had a crash there last year, which wasn't fun. So kind of just dampened my spirits a little bit and kind of focused on work and did other things for a bit. But, got back on the bike there a couple of weeks ago and it's started to do a little bit more training, which has been really good for the head as well, just to get back into it. I guess it's just been work apart from that. So
Work.
Do you coach yourself?
And, I do actually. Yeah, so I'm pretty lenient on myself too. I was going to be that much, but
Not today.
But I've had some clients go and do some Ironman cans 70.3 over the last
couple of weeks.
Today.
Today is
today,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
So it was good following them and being a part of their prep and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. How'd they go?
So pretty good. They've sort of hit their goals, I think. So
yeah, so
I
they're
haven't
just
had a
looking
good
for
chat with them yet. They're probably all still cross-eyed, but which is fine.
What's the cut-off time for? Is it 13 hours?
I'm
Or something
not
like that?
sure. Yeah,
This is a full, isn't it?
Hey,
that'd be full.
Full.
Yeah,
Half that. No.
huh?
Isn't it half that?
70.3.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a half. Okay, yeah, of course.
So,
Yeah,
So apart from that, a few bike fits and
which we'll touch on.
yeah, absolutely.
Literally like now. So obviously, Mr. Nick, you've just told us like who you are, but you run a business in Adelaide called
The recovery room.
And that does...
Bit of everything at the moment, actually. So I started off as a massage therapist.
You did.
Doing
I've had
doing
Nick
massage.
touch my glutes before.
We have. Yes.
Not blushing.
I've touched them more.
Glad it was memorable for you, mate. And so sort of moved into physio when I finally graduated, which was good. Coached since 2010, and now I'm sort of combining a bit of all those things under the same roof, so to speak. So a bit of a one-stop shop.
And you're saying just before we come on, started recording, that you're now transitioning to a new business name?
Yeah, so I decided that I kind of was doing a lot of cycling things, but perhaps it didn't appeal to all of my clientele. So I'm sort of opening up my own other separate standalone business and going to be trading under the name RADelaide, which is, kind of just bringing everything together under that.
So that'll be the coaching and the bike fit side
Coaching
of
and
it.
the bike fit, yeah.
Yep.
I do some blood lactate testing and things like that as well, and we start to get into some sciencey stuff, which is cool and fun.
Enterprises. I like it.
Yeah.
And you've previously done some Swanee stuff for the Australian team as well?
Yeah, did a little bit with those guys during the Festival of Cycling.
Yep.
Which was a great little race to have while we didn't have the Tour Down Under here.
Yeah.
So it was really filled the gap, and they did well there.
Yep.
So I did a bit of work with them, a few other pro teams. It was 2016. I got my first gig with Dimension Data.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Steele von Hoff, who found an opening there for me and gave me a call. And then Cafetes have been the team that I've been working with for the last few years.
Yep.
And they've been a great team. We
Got a gig next year?
haven't spoken yet, but
Okay.
Usually they give a call up somewhere around October, November.
Yep.
They sort of try and lock you down and lock you in.
It's going to be a big one. 25th anniversary.
No, can't wait.
25 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not
Dates come out yesterday. I think the stages come out next week.
Yeah.
No, the 24th, I think.
It's just an even bigger come down afterwards, isn't it?
Oh, we're getting closer. I've only just
I
got...
did say that we should be getting excited from the Big Banana regarding the stages.
Yep, I did slide into her DMs yesterday.
Of course you did.
Oh, did you? Of course you did. Feeling the rush already, mate.
Feeling the rush. Yep.
Sweet. Oh, the big question. Let's just get it out of the way. What's your Norton PB?
Well, I'm not a climber.
Alex?
I've got a...
Neither am I.
I got a 19 something.
That's all right.
Sub 20.
Yeah.
Respectable.
I did it a couple of years ago. I haven't been up there for a long time. So I sort of moved down to Plimpton. Most of my riding's
It's
done
pretty
sort of
far away
down
from
south.
Plimpton.
So, yeah.
At least 8Ks.
Yeah, that's right. I think for me, I just end up getting out on that bike path and going down to McLaren Vale.
Yeah, yeah.
I just enjoy the riding down that way. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
McLaren Loop is a good loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Kashi did it with Wang one day, and he just left us basically.
Yeah, he was enjoying it so much,
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
just
want to
left
be
us.
around
See you
anyone.
later.
Yeah,
Never be seen again.
yeah.
Now, I reckon I should change this next question, guys, from rather than being greatest achievement or best day on the bike, because of some of the guests we have, like greatest bike-related achievement, whether that's on bike or off, because you get to do some pretty cool stuff with pro teams and whatever. Yeah, so what comes to mind?
I think if we're talking pro team stuff,
Can be anything.
We
It could
had
be
a-
massaging my glutes. Like
it'll be that. It'll be that.
Yeah.
Did you get him to roll
Probably
over?
second or third, maybe.
That would have to be up there.
We had a win
Was
with
up there,
Cafetes.
literally.
We had a win at Wollonga there with Brian Cockard there.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool because it was really dialed in. Everything about that stage was stripped back. We knew where the split was going to be made, but we also the split come at Wollonga, and we knew that it was going to bottleneck, and we knew that we had to put him into that position. Every rider did their role, and it come to
worked out.
a sprint win there, which was that was pretty cool.
That was this year, wasn't it?
The one before.
The one before?
Yeah, the one before. That was pretty good. Coaching. Guess Cactus winning.
Cactus.
Giannis was pretty good.
Giannis.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I got another fella back, going back a few years, won a team sprint title here, national team sprint title, so that was cool as well. So, yeah.
good.
Good.
What about your own personal worst day on the bike?
Worst day on the bike. Yeah, I didn't know if we could talk about crashes or not, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was probably about 2012 for me. I was proudly riding in my new kit, just sort of had a bit of a opportunity to ride with a team that was a new NRS team, and was on the track, outdoor velodrome, very similar to what we have in Edwardstown here, and got brought down pretty hard and fractured the pelvis and broke my back. So
know about a pelvis fracture.
So wasn't fun, but the biggest thing with that was the soft tissue damage as well, because I tore 3 abdominal layers, tore my hip flexors, and it was a real kind of like being dumped by a wave, but that wave was made of bitumen.
Yeah. And then you just basically can't hold yourself up.
Yeah. So for me, that's probably the worst day, but it was also a real pivotal sort of turning point for me, because that's what really made the push for me to go and become a physio. That was the sort of line in the sand where I'm like, all right, this is something that I'm going to have to deal with for a while. And I'd had some, perhaps not great treatments done or not good plans. And that was kind of a moment where I sort of had to take it upon myself.
Look for that alternate / the skill set to go with.
Yeah. So positive out of a negative, I guess.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, favourite bike and group set. So whether it's one that you've had or even a dream build that you could ride on.
I've just got a new TCR, giant TCR. I really like it. It's comfortable. I can do a lot with the fit. Like I can definitely make it more aggressive, or I can make it more relaxed on the front end. It rides really well. So I haven't had a TCR for about 15 years, but so it was really nice to get back onto that. And so I really do enjoy it. I think just to look at them, I love the Pinarellos. I really do.
Dogma. Like Cactus Senior has.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
When I saw it roll up on Chop one day, I was like, what on earth? This is like, where did you get this thing from? Yeah, it's a good looking bike.
Yeah.
Actually, not on the question.
Here it is. See, told you.
Sorry. You mentioned that you're riding, 20, what was that? 20, you had your accident in 2012?
Yep.
So how long have you been riding for? Like, tell us the story. Like, so you got your trigger point into how you become a physio, which is your life now, which is super cool. But if we go back another point, like how did you get into cycling?
How did I get into cycling? I was a basketballer growing up.
Oh yeah.
I dislocated my ankle. It was my first real injury. Yeah. Saw my saw the bottom of my shoe with my foot still in it. So, and my family, they've all rode sort of forever.
Yeah.
So that was a natural part of my rehab.
Yeah.
And then I realised that I could actually punch out a bit of watts.
Yeah.
And that kind of pissed off my little brother, I think. So I really enjoyed that part.
No.
And then, so I didn't get into it really till I was about 19.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's, it was sort of what I did. When I did the ankle, a piece of bone come off and it actually lodged in the joint. So every time I was running after that, it just come with pain. So there was a good 6 years there where I didn't really have any enjoyment in running whatsoever.
Yeah.
But on the bike, I could unload that and it was absolutely fine. So I guess that's how I got my, got into cycling. And then I think the competitive side took over, and as it does with so many of us.
Beat brother, then beat mate, then beat, here I come.
That's good.
I've seen some of the sprints on your Strava when I do my stalking. What's your max 5-second PB?
5 second. It's about, I think it's 15:60 for 5, about 18:60 for 1.
Oof.
So
Not too bad. Have you always lived in Adelaide?
No, I'm from Victoria originally.
Victoria originally? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm a Mexican, as
Yep.
they say.
Come across the border.
Come across the border before the wall has been built.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes.
Are you a breakfast eater? And if so, what's your go-to?
Yeah, I am. But it's a time thing for me. I'm very quickly to forget it. So I generally try to, but if I get the ball rolling,
Forget eating breakfast. I'll wake up
quite
hungry.
easily. Yeah, quite easily. If I get on the bike, I'll always have breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and generally speaking, it'll be usually, it depends on what I'm doing. If it's just an easy hour or something like that, then I might just have a few eggs and bacon or something like that.
Yep.
If it's something that I feel like I need to have a little bit more carbs in there, then I'll probably have some sort of oats or something like that with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
On that, I've thrown the Weet Bix away.
You have you?
Had enough.
What are you on to?
Nothing.
No breakfast.
No breakfast.
No,
I didn't eat breakfast yesterday.
just can't do it. I was about to say I
had
was
egg
about to
gel
say
in my
I eat
pocket.
breakfast whether I ride or not, but I ride
May
every
have
day.
had a
You ride every
nootropics
day.
gel in my back pocket, but that's
That's breakfast. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that'll skip breakfast, and they think that they report that they don't seem to have that mental fog that happens in the afternoon as well, which is interesting. So I don't know. Do you guys experience that or not?
Breakfast is my biggest meal of the day.
Here, though, if you get on the bike and start eating straight away, you should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than loading yourself up.
I can't load.
House.
Yeah, no, I'll do. I'd rather eat gradually. Like
I
have
load and then deload, then load and then deload
Deload
like 3
again.
times before I leave the house.
So, if given you had the time and stuff like that, what's your favourite pre-ride meal?
It's probably. I mean, I'm a big one for rice cakes on the bike.
Yes.
You make your own?
Yeah. So I'll make my own up, and I'll always have them in the fridge, and I will usually have them. I'll put some in a container as well.
Yep.
So I know that it fuels me well on the bike, so it's definitely going to fuel me well before the bike. So it's just a little go-to that's easy there, and whack in the microwave, and
Rice
off you
cake.
go. You can heat it up or have it
Rice
cold.
with a little bit of anything else, or just plain.
Yeah, so I just put a boreal rice in there into the rice cooker with some water. I usually put some sugar in there as well. Chopped up
Brown,
apricots, bit of brown.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do some chopped up apricots and some
I just think rice.
Coconut.
Indian
yeah.
No.
curry.
Nah, man, get on the rice.
The year I
Get on
did
the rice.
the year I did the Warney, Danny Clark made us all rice cakes.
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah.
His little special rice cake
absolutely.
recipe.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Rice cakes are good.
Speaking of food, Wang, ask.
I did have some of these previously.
I had 3 today.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
3.
Favorite cheat meal? Zinger burger, good or bad?
Oh, good.
Yeah, of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah.
But is it the go-to cheat meal?
Yeah.
Is it your go-to fast food?
I wouldn't go for a zinger if I
No.
was going to be like feeling dirty.
It's probably pizza, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably pizza.
Pineapple
But,
on pizza?
Sorry?
Yes.
Is it pineapple on pizza?
Depends on the pizza.
Don't be so racist, Wang.
Yeah.
It's a go-to question. Should pineapple be on pizza?
I actually like pineapple when the pizza's cold, like the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Ham and pineapple. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
What's your go-to pizza?
I do like a good margarita though.
Okay.
Yeah, just something
Plain.
simple. Something
Pizza.
simple. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a margarita pizza.
Next. Fucking vegans.
Recovery meals. This is a better one. What would you suggest there for recovery meals?
Let's paint the picture,
Yeah.
right?
You've
So
done 300k crusties. So my recovery meal would have been a zinger box.
Yep. Yep.
2 litres of Farmers Union.
I was actually going to say a bit more relatable, right? You've just worked all day. It's a Tuesday in summer. You've done your Tuesday crit.
The wind's slightly blowing.
Yeah, it's a
Then
beautiful.
we go across to the
Summer's-
Britannia.
then we go to the
Britannia.
Britannia. No, Tuesday crit, hour-long recovery meal post race.
Yep. I mean, protein shakes straight up. That's what I would. That's
I don't
what I'd
serve them at
suggest.
the Britannia. maybe that's a market for them.
I mean, if you could get that protein intake in early, I think that's always
Within how
the,
how early?
there's still debate whether or not there's a protein window there.
Yeah.
But if you can get it in straight away, I think it's probably pretty good. Logic says you've stopped exercising, and that, I mean, what are we doing in training? We're trying to stress the body, push it out of what is homeostasis, and then the body adapts to come back in to what is your new normal. So if that's your new normal and your body's trying to adapt and come back into that, that's when you kind of want to give it the fuel to do that, rebuild and go again. So that's what I'd be suggesting.
Protein shake.
Protein shake, and then do whatever you want at the
Hot
Britannia,
chips.
mate.
Yes.
Protein shake, then zinger box.
Yep.
Might be a bit rough on the
I
gut.
would legitimately be shitting through the oven needle.
Okay. I might try that.
What, shitting through the oven needle?
No, I can do that.
Well, see, the thing is with a protein shake, it's easy to take in, but, you know, a steak. You know, some other types of protein.
Alberto Contador style steak? or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the pigeon with Michael Rogers?
Yeah.
Pigeon?
That too.
And then what about, like, you've got the protein shake, yeah, but what about a meal as such, steak or is it just literally protein me straight after my exercise.
Oh, it's got to have a bit of everything. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist by any means, but it's one of those ones where I think you need to think about what you're recovering from, how much you're recovering from, and what your next thing is going to be. You know, if you're just getting onto a steak and salad and your next ride is heading down to Victor, probably going to be a tough day out. So you probably want to have some kind
Palmy?
of yeah, go for it. Palmy.
That's got to be
Palmy.
everything.
Yeah. A bit of protein in the palmy.
That's it.
All right, what about where we've just done the 300 Ks? This is the day after the Victor Loop. What are my recovery activities that you suggest?
I'd almost always suggest to go for a light ride in that, like to free the legs up. I think taking a day off there is going to make you feel crappy the next day.
Yes, I
So
agree.
I think if you can keep going, I think that's probably the most important thing to do.
But not for 5 years, like easy roll, day off, get back into it.
If you're
Active recovery.
active recovery.
Half wheeling is not active recovery, mate. But yeah, flushing the legs, right?
Flushing the legs out.
Yeah.
Essentially flushing the legs out.
Yeah.
I mean, adequate diet and adequate sleep is still going to be the king
Come
for
on,
any
mate. What
type of...
This guy slept 8 hours a week. So,
What about off the bike?
You might have just found your optimal, mate. We're all
My
different.
optimal, yeah.
nah.
What about
sleep.
Off the bike recovery.
Off the bike recovery. Look, a massage is good to get.
You're
Absolutely.
Just talking yourself up. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, you contrast that's getting a lot more traction at the moment between hot and cold. So plunge recovery is
He's a big advocate for that.
see the
It's so
celebration.
funny,
at
like
the
when
end.
I was growing up, right, we used to think like just hot and cold showers. And even when we used to play... Yeah. What about like for people that don't have access to all that? What about just the normal hot bath with a bit of Epsom salts?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
A good bath.
The thing with
Or-
Epsom salts is it's an absorption thing. Like your body will take on what it needs. So it's,
Love it.
big hit of magnesium. It's beautiful.
Delish.
Speaking of magnesium,
Pillar performance.
are you onto it already? Like it's happening?
Yes, yeah.
happening.
Just gone onto the
Because you
The
have
magnesium,
Or
that
like coloured.
magnesium is delicious.
triple. Oh, I got the tablets. I didn't go the powder.
Oh, does it hurt?
Yeah.
Suppository? Or what?
Straight in.
Straight in?
Comes with a tool. No, I've just gone. No, I prefer the tablets over the powder.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more volume in your hair today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you are
Yep.
sweating.
I was nervous before. I'm on the Pillar Performance triple magnesium now. So we'll try and get a discount code for the listeners.
Yeah. Discount code Wangapause.
Yeah. What about compression boots? You rate them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Like if you've got them and you can use them, go for it. For
Yep.
sure. I mean, it's lymphatic drainage. So it's essentially trying to clear out all of those byproducts that you produce when you're working well up and above your lactate threshold. So
Yep.
those sort of things, if you can promote that and some kind of an aid that's going to help you do it, why wouldn't you try it? You know,
I
and
did find they super relaxed me. I reckon I could have fallen asleep in the boots.
Oh,
Yeah, I have fallen asleep
before
in them.
there. So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I rate them. They're good.
It's good recovery talk. I like it.
Yeah.
Make it a bit more relevant to listeners, eh? It's good.
Massage, ice bath.
You've been going in the ocean a little bit.
Yeah, when it was warmer. It's
Yeah.
fucking freezing now. But yeah, I was doing
No
some.
idea.
No,
Cold.
but cold when you get out as well. So
Anyway.
I think one of the biggest things you can get from your recovery comes from actually being able to switch off, because it's not necessarily just the local muscles that are recovering. Like it's a nervous system thing. So a lot of the benefits that people can get from a massage as well, or from if it's, plunge or something like that, is the fact that they can actually just switch off.
It's funny you say that.
Which brings
Switching
me back to
One of the only times
sleep.
that I'll actually relax is when I'm getting a massage. Yeah, that's about the only time, because you're just completely away from everything.
No screens, no
Bye.
nothing.
Done, yep.
I had a 45-minute yesterday, and I was asleep for 41 minutes of it.
The other minute it was firefighting.
Elbowed you and said, you want me
When she-
to...
No, it wasn't one of those. So yeah, I'll generally sleep for the majority of them.
yeah.
That's my biggest problem. It's like, go home, get off the bike. Oh, let's knock down a wall. It's like,
Yeah, that's not active recovery.
Speaking of bikes, bike fits, Rider Tech, soon to be. Should we have a bike? Should we have a bike fit?
Why should we have
Yeah, why? Yes, good. Why?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a good question. I mean, I think it's good for everyone to have at some point in time, and it's good to know where you are on your bike as well in terms of the position that you can start with. Everyone's sort of got a window that they can fit in, and you're the one that's going to adapt around your bike to an extent, because once that bike is locked in, then you're the one that adapts. The bike's not going to change from there. Mm-hmm. So I think if you can get in and get a bike fit, I think it's always going to be a good thing.
Are you on the agreement that obviously there's some specifics you're looking for when you do a bike fit, and then the rider should take note how they feel afterwards and either report back or
100%
make
yeah.
There's a
Absolutely.
bunch of people out there. I've been bike fit. That doesn't mean it's 100%.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah. No. I offer a follow up with every one of my bike fits, and that's in the original price.
Yep.
So I expect them to come back to me and just give me some feedback.
Yeah.
If I don't hear it, I'll try and follow up.
Yeah.
But
it's super hard for some people that are not very sensitive to the tiny changes you can make on your bike.
Absolutely.
Obviously you can turn your feet or whatever, and it's all the way up the body after that, and they're just not quite feeling it.
Yeah.
So some people must be super hard to fit.
100%.
That feels okay today.
Yeah. There's a bike fitter, Phil Burt, his name is. He's probably one of the more known ones. He worked with British Cycling and Team Sky. He pretty much said that people are either a micro adjuster or a macro absorber. So you're either the person that, everyone's been on the ride with the person that has to stop and change their saddle by 1 mil.
My dad.
Yeah. And then the other side of it is you'll find someone you'll see them on the tour, they do a bike change, and obviously they're riding a bike that's 2 sizes too small, back to the peloton.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, some people can just absorb and they can just...
I'm a macro.
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, you are a macro because you adjusted your TT bike pretty substantially out of Dookie.
Yeah. I'll just get on it.
My brother, for example, he's a macro. I measured all 3 of his bikes, and they're all
Completely different. Yeah.
That hurt my soul hearing that.
I reckon you're a micro.
So you're the micro.
I'm a
that
micro.
I am. Yeah, I can. It's funny, right? I think the first 3 bikes I think I got a fit off someone here in Adelaide, and then a friend is good friends with Ken Ballhouse in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So then I got basically all my bikes done by him. And now that I kind of I think the thing for me was understanding the fit.
Yep.
And then that feeling. But then when you hop on something that is that much out, you're like, fuck, I know my saddle feels a bit weird.
So I'm the same as you.
Yeah, and I noticed it on mine the other week. I put my S5 saddle back. I had to do something to it. And then it was like the degrees of the saddle was out.
Was that?
And yeah. And I had to go back and tinker and get the level out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So always have it slightly down a little bit.
I'm a micro.
And then the difference between different bikes, like different bikes, I was coming off a Chapter 2, which is an aero frame, and I've gone to a TCR. So it's a completely different ride feel.
Yeah.
So that changes things as well. So it doesn't necessarily, like my bike is identical to the other bike when I look at all the contact points, but it feels completely different.
Same.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm absorbing that. So the key takeaway for that is that I'm in an okay position, or I'm in a good position, but I have to absorb what is the new position. And I mean, in physio we call it habituation, where your body will adapt to the stresses you put it under. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
So
That's
for
super
example,
cool.
The echelon bikes, they adjust in 10 mil increments for the saddle.
Oh, that's
bike.
disgusting.
It's outrageous.
Yeah,
10 mils.
That's
8, 10 mil, I reckon.
No.
So it's super hard, and I know I'm not sitting anywhere near where I am on my road bike, but it's comfortable for that.
It does the job, bro.
Yeah.
That would crack
Extreme.
me so hard.
You probably find the harder you ride and the more intervals you do, the more you can just forget about it.
Yeah, quite possibly, because I reckon I push always harder at echelon than anywhere else.
I'm not advocating for just riding hard instead of getting a bike.
That's cool.
Actually, what about mountain bike versus road? Do you have any? Have you?
See, I don't do mountain bike fits.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a mountain biker and I can't feel it.
Is there such a thing as mountain bike fits though? Do they get fitted to it?
I'm sure they do.
I don't know. I don't know because
like
I go from. It's funny because I go from 38 mil bars S5 to my cross country bike, and it's just like if you go the next day, it feels so weird.
So that would cook me. I could.
It does. Yes, you just wait. young Alex.
I know. I've done it. I remember getting off of the Mawson Trail and then onto my roadie, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I crashed.
Yeah. It's good fun.
Speaking of fitting the bikes,
Yeah.
funniest bike fit myth or story you've ever heard?
I guess the more I've done, the more I've realised that there's no hard, fast rules to a bike fit.
Yeah.
Every person is different, and you've got to work with the person in front of you. So there was a manual, the Coney manual, that came out years and years and years ago that's still kind of used, and it gave some really defined ways to fit to the bike. But I guess the other one would be measuring your inseam length and just having a concrete way to get your saddle height from that. I think it's a complete myth.
Yeah.
I was so hoping you were saying that. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Because then you've got two different leg lengths.
Yeah, it can get you in the ballpark. Don't get me wrong; it'll get you in the ballpark, and then you can sort of
in the balls.
it'll get you in the ballpark. And then just play some jazz on that. So.
What sort of costings are involved for a bike fit?
So I charge $380 for the bike fit.
Okay. You just do the one level of bike fit?
Yeah. It's a 3-hour process.
Yeah.
I'm a physio as well, so there's a portion of that that's a health fund rebate as well. So there's a physio consult to start where we'll look at the range of motion at the body.
Yep.
Start to work out from there where
so
the
you get pelvic
limitations.
tilt?
Yeah, all those sort of things.
Mine's very good.
Yep.
No, it's not.
You're the most aero.
Mate, yeah, I was going to say you're the most unaero.
I'm super aero.
Lovable,
Right.
That's funny. That's gold.
All right, so 380.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about this before. Shorter cranks. What have you delved into that, or what's your take on it?
It's a big thing at the moment.
Yeah.
It's massive. So
Or a little.
Or a little thing.
Yeah.
It's always been on the track, right? Like
Yeah.
you do shorter cranks.
That's how I got onto them.
Yeah.
So I used to run 165s on the track, and I got pushed up to 170s for more leverage.
Yeah.
And went backwards, and didn't like it. Never thought anything more about it. Probably about 10 years ago, I bought a power meter, a Quark, and it come with 165s on it. And just out of curiosity, I put it on my bike, and I thought, let's see what it's like. And straight away, I was like, oh, that's my cadence has increased, and my back sort of settled down a little bit. Anyway, so that was my sort of introduction into shorter cranks. At the moment, we're seeing a lot more pros do it. So
Because Poggy's on 165s, I think.
yeah, Remco did it 2 years ago, I think.
Yep.
And Poggy's gone to 165s as well. By all accounts, Pigcock has been experimenting this year with 160s.
He's very small,
So-
so keep in mind he's pretty short,
He
right?
is short,
Yeah.
definitely. So, but then so is Remco. So, there's a trend to, I guess, explore that.
Yeah.
I think what we find is that when you go to shorter cranks, and the research sort of suggests that it won't have an impact on power. That's what the concrete evidence is saying at the moment.
Okay.
For that reason, if you're more comfortable and can get lower at the front, why wouldn't you? Because knowing that you can get more aerodynamic, you may save 10 watts there. So
Right.
At least 8 with the socks, hey?
with the socks.
Real
Seven.
chamois.
Seven with
Seven chamois.
7 with aero socks.
So it's an expensive trial, but I don't think I've had anyone who has tried them and then gone back. So I do a lot of triathlon fits as well. It's an absolute to go shorter cranks
Oh, 100%,
than most
right.
tri-bikes
Yeah.
end up giving you, purely because of the transition and getting off the bike and running, being able to have more mobility through the hip and not jam it up. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
yeah.
Sweet. What about, do you see any common mistakes in people when they come in with their own bike? They're like, I've set myself up.
It's probably saddle height would be like maybe too high, I think was probably the most common thing that I'd see from people. The trend is to, crits will get you forward and down and fast, right? And that will load up the quads. But, and running a high saddle can be strong in that. But it can also disengage your hammies as well. So being able to really load up through all the muscles in the legs during your training in particular will generally end up with a better, more efficient cyclist, I'd say. Yep. So I think, the saddle height's probably the one trend that I would say comes in most often.
Yeah. You'd probably say someone would come in and go, my something is sore because...
Yes. Yeah. And it's usually, overwhelmingly, it's lower back is the persistent one. And then knee is the one that turns up. But the knee is the one that sort of turns up and then disappears and then turns up and disappears. And it's more about loading through the front. Whereas
So is that because of load? Like it's not a load bearing sport, right? If you're running, the knee would just be like, oh yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And what about the trend of narrower handlebars as well?
It's an interesting one. I mean, it does make you more aero.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. There's no real, to my knowledge.
Does it constrict your breathing at all?
Yeah, I don't know. No? That's the thing. I'm not 100% on it. I don't think anyone knows that yet.
Okay.
So it really would have to be measured in different situations. Like you'd have to measure it out in training. You'd have to measure it under load. And and I don't know that that's been done yet. So
because pretty much 38 is your sort of go-to size now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, what's Poggy? Are they 36s? I reckon Poggy runs
the flare ones.
Yeah, so he's got 36 at the top and 30.
You know what does crack me? Bike industry. Well, you fucks. When you buy new bikes, no one rides 42s. No one. So stop.
Look like mountain bike.
Right? I don't want to see any more 42 centimetre bars being sold on Marketplace from brand new bike takeoff. Please, that's my event. Thank you.
That's a fair
and
thing.
90 mil stems. Go away, please.
That's a fair thing.
Well, you might find lots of 1725 cranks now on sale.
Oh, maybe.
That's true. Going to go to 165.
I guess
custom length cranks, all sorts of weird and wonderful sizes.
Yeah. I guess the indication for someone to try 165s, it's easy to set someone for their bike fit at the bottom of the pedal stroke. But when you go to the top of the pedal stroke, if you kind of visualise what that would look like if you're on two longer cranks, is that you're going to hike through the hip as you come across the top. And the way that you're going to hike through the hip is the muscles coming off the back into the hip. So if you're hiking up through the hip and you're jacking up your lower back, it may be an indication to have a look at cranks. If you've had any type of hip pathology, it's still maybe another opportunity to go to 165 mil cranks just to open up the hip angle a bit more. And if you've got short legs, absolutely. Have a look at your cranks, see what they are.
Yeah, very short legs.
So, yeah. Wombat. Me and Wombat.
165s. I wonder what Wombat is riding. That's good.
158.
Can I give you an action for this week? Thank you. I feel like I'm at work
I
again.
will message him right now.
Thank you.
And find out what lengths. Hopefully
Your
I'll get a
friend of
reply by the end of the podcast.
But he's able to get very aero though.
He is very
incredibly aero.
Yeah.
So he's probably
He's racing
got
Tour of Slovenia, so he may not reply straight away.
So, question.
yes.
We have a mate called, let's just call him Wangapores. He's a noob to cycling.
It's not me.
Having some issues with numbness.
Can I paint before
you paint a better picture? Thank you.
He's new to cycling, but he's been gifted a bike.
Sure.
So I think also a common problem with people is, oh, that's cheap on Marketplace. I'll have that.
Yeah.
He's been gifted a bike, but now he's having some issues with numbness in the region. Like, what's causing it? What should he look for?
I mean, the first thing that you would be looking for would be the saddle shape and the
older bike.
Yep. Ooh. So saddle shape, saddle size, pretty much everything about the saddle, to be honest. Yep. And then you'd also want to be looking at the hands as well and how much he's loading up through the hands. So
Wang loaded his nether region up with his hands. He still couldn't feel it.
That was the test. That was the fit in my hand.
Yeah. So it's everything around the saddle, really.
Yeah,
it's not me, by the way.
The old physique. I mean the Antares.
Or the specialised Roman.
Yeah,
they look terrible. What do you think of the mimics, the 3D mimic saddles?
Like the specific the mimic or all the 3D saddles?
They're 3D printed saddles.
Yeah, 3D printed saddles. They're great. You can. So I've experienced a couple of them that haven't suited me.
Yeah.
And for a saddle that doesn't suit me, it's better, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yep.
So there's enough give in different areas of that saddle, and they're usually tensioned to different areas. Like they've usually got panels in there that are printed more firm or less firm.
Yep.
So you almost make that channel, that cutout channel, out of a less firm sort of a printing
material.
Yeah. So as I said, for a saddle that didn't suit me, it wasn't as bad as what it would have been if it was just a normal saddle. But there's also plenty of people that are buying them off AliExpress now.
I have seen that.
Some really cheap saddles.
I will
tested one.
A friend of mine just bought one.
About $60.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to ask him how it goes.
Well, I've had a couple of people come in for fits that have bought them in.
There you go.
They love
I can't remember who.
Carbon rail and everything, or is it just
one was carbon, one was plastic.
Yeah, I think GP Llama might.
scare me?
I think GP Llama might have got one, and he's currently running one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're like $60
Why not?
delivered.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Yeah, but imagine if it broke.
No, I don't think it'll break.
I broke a Specialized one.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Well, there's probably a reason for that.
BGA.
Geez, remember when we used to run those rolls saddles back in the day?
No,
you
not-
remember
oh,
those? Do
fucking
you remember them?
Is this the leather?
Yeah, basically, no cutout whatsoever on them. Yeah. They were the best saddle around. Surprised they had kids. So, very surprised.
How good.
I think
Very
that's
good.
do you have anything else, Alex, Wang? You got any other questions?
No,
I think we could, to be honest, we could probably chat for another hour, to be fair.
I just really like the whole micro
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it makes so much
really
sense.
puts it in perspective. Thank you.
You're welcome.
so bike fit 380
And you get some rebate.
and health
And a
insurance
rebate.
rebate.
And where are you, like, how can we find you right now?
Yeah, so at the moment,
he's
I'm
waiting. Thank you. Thank you.
electrical. Here till they kick me out.
Here till Thursday, try the wheel.
Yeah, so the recovery room, I'm still trading under that name at the moment. We'll launch Rider Tech a little bit later. But if you jump on my Instagram, it's the Recovery Room SA.
Perfect.
And you can sort of book from there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so just to touch back onto the last question though, we've also just implemented. I've got a Retool Fit bike.
Oh,
that
cool.
I've got. So it allows you to, I guess we can micro adjust everything on there. So it's just a turn of a handle, and you can set your saddle height. There's a fella here who's a lot more in Adelaide, who's a lot smarter than me, Alistair Dowler, who's given me a big help in creating a angled, I guess you'd call it a seat clamp, where I can adjust the tilt on it.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Sitting on it.
yeah, whilst you're sitting on it.
Because everything else is a bit of a, it looks like a,
hand.
late, yes.
Yeah. So
Remember those?
Do you?
Yeah, that's cool.
So we've got that and a pressure mapping system. So you can really find out where you're loading up. And the cranks on that machine go from 155mm all the way up to 180. So
Oh, yeah.
you can come and test it out
Oh, good.
during a fit.
That sounds
Got
great.
my mate.
Cover Room SA Instagram. Yep, sweet.
Sounds good.
How good. Shall we...
Notable mention me.
What have we
Notable
got?
mentions.
Yes, we've got Liani.
Liani.
I thought it was that.
Could be. She might have one leg shorter than the other.
Yeah, she's leaning. Well, old
Come on, let's be serious.
Sorry.
Liani Vandenberg going to China in August to represent Australia at the UCI Junior Track Worlds. So the reason why we're saying this is there is a GoFundMe page, much like our mate Tay had to do that, so he could go. So yes, there is a GoFundMe page.
Put the link in the show notes.
We will put the link in the
We'll
show
put
notes.
the link on. I'll share the link to Instagram as well.
Instagram story and everything like that.
Yep.
So if you go over there, help her out with getting to Junior Track Worlds, because it's great for Aussie track, and Cycling Australia do better with your Junior World people. All right? Massive shout out again, Relatable Cactus. She had a bit of a little bit of time off the bike.
A little bit of a fall in Belgium.
Yes, so I hope she gets well soon.
She's back on the Zwift, so
Yep. And also friend of all of ours, Deck the Balls, left yesterday for the Olympics. Sorry, mate, I just didn't want to get you with my snot rockets.
yeah, a couple of training. Those boys are off to a couple of training camps. The team will be announced, I think, on the 24th potentially.
At the moment, it's Nanya.
At the moment, it's Nanya. Yep. So yeah, they got training camp in Girona and then Portugal. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, they're going to Monaco and then Portugal.
Oh.
One last unfortunate shout out. Unfortunate. Anyway, you might have seen on the socials, there's only room for one Wang in SA. Our beloved Wang and Funi are going back to China.
Yeah.
Back to
so
China.
there is new ones, though,
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah. Yilang, and not Funi.
Adelaide is not big enough for two Wang Wang, so I'm remaining. And the imposter one.
I did.
going
I
back.
said my farewells on Monday.
I
Public
did
holiday.
see you
Went
were
to
there.
the zoo. Yep.
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 The Chinese president's here at the moment. He was having lunch at
Just like so.
He was having lunch at Penfold Winery, and there was quite a lot of protesters up there. I don't know what they're protesting about, but they're also protesting at the zoo as well. Yeah. Something about
China. Well, look, I don't think we've got time, but
there's things about live exports and stuff.
Well, there's even more than that. There's some crazy prisons over there. Anyway.
Sidetrack.
Yeah, very sidetracked over there.
Go down that rabbit hole.
Shit. Shall we jump right in?
So let's jump right into it. So the main reason why we exist is to let's see who's been spinning up the summit this week.
On their 165s.
And check out the times for the folks that have been giving us a show. It might be the fast guys, it may be the slow ones, it may even be the ones in between. But like we said, we'll dive into the rides and data a little bit more robustly, and then we'll see who and what has caught our eyes on the leaderboards with some hand-picked fun times and analysis.
Wow, do you do good English there, Wang?
Every time he reads that, he changes the words around.
I just put my own spin on it.
He did say Mo.
He said Mo, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
You know the name.
So, Mr. Nick, you're going to be giving the fastest man and women time this week.
What a duck's back, isn't he? Yeah.
In other words, fuck up you two.
Yes. Anyway, Mr. Man.
So the fastest man was Freshie Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
The time of 12:43.
PB.
Andy, PB.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have we got some data there for him?
Yeah, we've got 373 watts, average 373 watts and 171 beats per minute.
All right, I will just mention a little bit more about this. I've got some inside information.
Yeah.
Firstly, the little fuck needs to stop taking my comms because I don't want to have to go back out there. He's taken my comm for 3 and 4 times up Norton, but I'm just waiting for the right time to go back out. Secondly, what I will say is that when he did this time on June the 14th, he actually did 5 reps on that day to take the comm for 5 times Norton.
So 5 times under 13 minutes.
And he did them all under 13. 12:43 was obviously his fastest. I think he did 2 12:47s and then there was a couple of 12:50s in there.
Can you beat?
Question.
He's a second year under 19.
Do you reckon he could crack 12?
Well, 43 seconds is
5 of them.
Yeah, but are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, I can do 12. I just can't go any faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he needs to...
Well, we're going to throw the challenge out to him.
Nah, give him some time. Would you say? How old?
Second year 19.
Second year 19. So what does that mean?
He's not that age.
Does that mean 18 or 17?
So
He'll
18.
go sub 12.
How old are you? First year 40.
And he did actually race Tour Bendigo last week and run 5th in Elite. So with some good riders.
Ride?
Sorry?
Did he run or ride?
He rode and run.
So
First
place.
run
Yeah.
5th.
So, run 5th over there.
He rode 5th.
And behind Mark O'Brien, actually. I did hear a rumour that he attacked Marco up one of the climbs. So
5 times under 13.
5 times under 30.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's like, what's that? So that's an hour and 10 minutes at 400 watts.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've climbed Norton's 5 times.
I have. And fastest woman.
Yes. Fastest woman, Wahooligan.
With a surprise.
A time of 17:14.
Poor love, she's been a bit sick.
Has she?
She has she has been since Mount Gambier. She's just getting back into it. So some further intel.
Oh, you're cobbing it today.
Sorry. How many watts did she do?
Yeah.
She did 234 watts average at a 163 beats per minute.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
chilling.
Definitely. A little bit sick.
No, that's a high heart rate. She must have been sick.
Yeah.
Alex.
All right, Alex.
What do we
Shall
got?
take us through the men this week. We have Mumbo, number 105 with a 1420, 320 watts. Number 2, Dried Asparagus rolled a 1421, 170 beats per minute, 302 watts. The Betas rolled up with a 1424 at 376 watts. Holy dooly. 166 beats per minute for that. New to the pod.
Yeah, I got 2 newies. Yeah.
Mr. Filsma. He has a rapid PB of 12:41, but he just did a casual 14:28. And then lastly, rounding out the men. PB?
No, sorry, no, not PB.
No, it was
Sorry.
almost a PB.
Almost a PB.
So 6 seconds off your PB, Obi-Wan Kobe. Rounding out the men.
Love it. All right, women. We have friend of the potty, got Miss Piggy straight up with a 1917. 253 watts. That's pretty good. Some pretty good wattage.
When's she going to get this PB?
Yes.
We're going to work back to that.
Okay.
Back to that. It was raining and windy and shit on Creek School Ride Thursday.
We did see her a couple of weeks ago. She was looking good on the bike, just tapping along. It was great. Great to see. Second off the ranks, we've just got amphetamines these days.
Yeah, just amphetamines.
Just amphetamines with a 1924. Good to see her on the bike. No power, but we've got 171 beats per minute there. Another friend of the pod, I did see her yesterday. I had a little wave mid-chop. R2, DI2 with a 205, 1924. A little bit off her PB, but I think she's just tapping yesterday post-chop. Just chilling out. Second last, we have... I just still don't get this one.
Yeah,
Kaiser van Hilm with a 2054, 161 beats per minute. That was done today. So nice little day to be out on the summit. And
today.
it was beautiful. I did go up there. Went up and down
Was it a
Green
bit
Hill.
cold?
Oh, look, I had long necks and long jersey on.
Oh, it's 30 degrees and you wear that.
Yeah. Last but not least, we have Ding Dong.
Who's there?
We have a 2117 with 171 beats per minute and 209 power. And that's it for the
That is
for the summit times.
But
What about
for the future?
yeah? What about for the future summit times this week?
Future.
Yeah,
Wang's
Wang's
weather.
weather.
It's going to be very wet this week.
Who's it sponsored by? More importantly,
Bikey wipes. Yeah,
Right,
Bikey wipes because I need some more products.
Have you used them all?
Of the degreaser ones I have, yeah.
I reckon I've used 2 wipes.
Because you don't ride enough.
I just don't clean
Do you
the
know?
bike
Do you know
either.
what I did do yesterday and today? I used
Yes.
the frame protection,
Frame wipes, yeah.
frame wipes.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
and then just a little bit of microfiber cloth over it.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying to Wayne. It needs a polishing.
They do need a polishing cloth, yeah.
Bikey wipes. Like,
Did you use a degreaser one as well to clean your chain or did you need to clean?
That was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Didn't do the rotor one to clean your rotors?
I have used them before. Just didn't need them.
Rotor ones. They smell nice as well, the rotor ones.
Yeah.
that's just anything.
I rated it too much
apart
this
from
week anyway.
Pino Clean wipes.
So, Alex, no.
They sting a little bit.
Joking.
So best day for the Norton this week will be Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday, what? Harvo.
Have you had a fucking stroke?
Probably. Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday,
Arm up
Harvo.
there and stick
Yeah.
your tongue out. It's sideways. Call
Wednesday
911.
afternoon is the best wind conditions, but it will probably be wet. I think we'll forecast 15 mil of rain on Wednesday.
Whoa.
So you might get washed back down.
I think so. It means my bike will get clean.
Yes, with biker wipes. Wang 10.
Wang 10.
All right, the week's ahead, people.
What have we got, Alex?
Adelaide Mountain Bike Club are running their XCM at Fox Creek. Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
I really need to try and ride this thing if we're going to do Melrose.
At least ride it in the backyard.
I could do wheelies.
Let's do this.
Okay, I've got to. That's what, a week away.
Yeah, it's next week.
Okay. Anyway, that's Sunday the 30th of June. Oz Cycling, Wednesday 19th of June, general track training at the Superdrome.
Mm-hmm.
This next one, I'm not sure if this is
Now, what is
recently
this?
added, but Oz Cycling, Sunday the 23rd of June, they're doing Road Development Academy bunch ride. Starts at Vic Park, and this is for it's aimed at the juniors between under 15s and under 17s, but
Counts me out.
yeah, about 50 years too late. They're developing camps to teach you how to tactically and technically compete in road events, a big element of our road racing. It's about being comfortable and patient within big bunch of riders, which is a massive skill to have. Oz Cycling SA coaches will be running a monthly bunch ride specifically for juniors, like I said, give them access to the training, ride to learn all the skills that encompass massive road starts.
Awesome.
How good's that?
Yeah, it's good.
Great pathway.
So, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
The Wombat runs 172 and a halves.
There we go.
Massive.
oh, really?
That's big.
Yes.
Anyway, and to finish that off, they're inviting juniors between under 15 and under 17 as we trek into Adelaide Hills in search of scenic climbs, hidden gems and flowing descents.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
great.
It's cool.
It's not just flat stuff.
Yep.
Good.
Inside Line Mountain Bike, they're doing Sunday 23rd of June, State Downhill Series Round 3. That's at Eagle. NCC, number 2 Winter Crit, Saturday 29th of June.
Now, they didn't get too many A graders
They
last
didn't,
time.
only 7.
Which, look, I'm sorry, it doesn't surprise me.
They had to have it early because of the pedal pre, though, is my understanding. Yes.
Yes, I did. Pedal Pre was on a Saturday Arvo, and then I think there was something else booked on the Sunday.
Yep. PACC are doing the Crossfire Cup on Sunday the 30th of June. That's out at Cross Keys BMX Club.
Cool.
And then lastly, South Coast Cycling, Wednesday the 26th, South Coast Winter Wednesdays, round 1.
What is
Superdrome?
That?
I think
A little bit of what do they call it? I don't know what it is, like an all-you-can-eat, like a little bit of a buffet of races.
Yeah.
Buffet.
Please check entrybosh.cc for more.
World's greatest entrance
World's
platform.
easiest.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, creatures, all creatures in between, and Wang, we would love... you've been copying it this week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like on the casting couch before.
We would love to thank our guest, Mr. Nick, for coming on the show. And if you listeners have enjoyed yourself,
Got him.
Hey?
I know. Why don't you give us a follow through your favourite podcast app and access all our episodes through YouTube as well. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon.
Ding.
And don't forget to tell all your friends and share it with everyone.
We are all over the socials where we'll give you updates, info, and let you know when new episodes are out, along with other podcast news and information. And if you want to support the podcast, head to our Buy Me a Coffee page. And if you donate, we'll give you a shout out on the podcast next week.
Good work.
We would love your feedback and to know your thoughts. So hit us up. Let's have a chat through our Facebook or Instagram page, or shoot us something through to our email, RADelaide@gmail.com. And with that,
What do you got?
how do you stop a dog from barking in the back of the car?
Don't know. Put him in the front.
We'll see you on the summit this
Ciao,
week.
ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ciao, bye.